also appreciate the patriotism of everyone.
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, Arabile, we are outside the Nasrec Expo Center. Throughout the morning, we've been giving you an update in terms of the movement, in terms of security and traffic. But now it's time to get into some business when it comes to reaction from civil society. A journey we started with some of these organizations throughout this week at that social summit. And of course, at that summit, we met one of the civil society voices that has been involved in trying to really draft some key issues that this summit in Johannesburg must respond to, especially when it comes to climate change, but also issues of food security globally. She's joining me now. She's been following proceedings here at Nasrec, and Mam Dintswalo Makubela is joining me now. She's also a farmer in Gauteng, so she has a lot to talk about. But let's start with your immediate reactions, Mama. At the social summit, you emphasized the importance of this summit decisively, or needing to decisively deal with issues of climate change, issues of food security. From what I've picked up, those issues have been ventilated, but are you satisfied? How are you feeling now post the actual conference? Declarations are out.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Greetings to the newsroom listeners. We are excited indeed to have raised our voice as the voice of the voiceless at the summit, but that doesn't mean work has been done. Work starts tomorrow. But as Africa and as South Africa, we have had an opportunity to be part of the declarations that have been written down so that they are put as decisive decisions that are going to be taken care of and come out as program of action. So in our view, we feel the issue of climate change can only be done once action of making sure that our communities understand what climate change is all about. At the present moment, it's still a word in a book. But what hurts us most is that the issue of climate change is not coming alone. It is coming with issues of pollution. It is coming with issues of water, air pollution, and even soil pollution, because our soil or our land needs rehabilitation. And all these multinational corporates, which are not South African or African, have just come to mine and produce gas and leave the entire space as is. No one is paying money for all these processes that has been happening. And we want to see justice to the climate by making sure that in our discussion, our emphasis was to come up with an African agenda that is going to speak to what transformation do we require, especially when it comes to the corporate monopoly, where we have seen all the multinationals that want Africa, but they are transporting Africa in different forms, in coals, in gold, and everything. And now they are coming with the Paris Agreement, which really doesn't serve Africa a lot.
Yeah, sorry, Mama, to cut you. This was also very historic because of the fact that civil society organizations, even though this initiative of bringing in the other voices, local communities, civil society started in Brazil, but South Africa took a bit further in terms of now you are able to say, as voices of the voiceless, we had our opinions, we had our suggestions. They are now on the Paris, or on the agenda. But going forward, we are going to the USA now. They are not happy. They were not happy with the theme. They are not happy with the declarations. How are you going to take this forward post South Africa?
As a farmer, I don't mind about America. I really do not mind. What we need to see happening in the country and in the continent is to have an African agenda that is going to start to address these things. So going to America won't help us resolve the African problems. It was done in Berlin in 1947 or whatever time, but nothing has changed. But this is our time as Africa. Hence, we are standing here around Nasrec to show solidarity, to show that we are continuously fighting for sustainability and equality. So therefore, for us is to see an African agenda that is going to speak as well to a sovereignty wealth fund that will start to deal with these issues. We cannot just talk and write all policies without implementation plans. As a continent, we are ready to upscale on the production of energy, biogas manufacturing, and making sure that in our declarations that we are coming up with, they are carbon free in terms of the industrialization and all the activities follow suit.
Talking about being carbon-free, there's been a lot of conflict on whether, the global economy, especially members of the G20, not paying enough attention or investing enough financial resources to dealing with climate change, especially as the biggest emitters of carbon dioxide. Looking at South Africa and the global leaders from Europe who have been here in South Africa, do you think there's a shift now? And are you anticipating that maybe policy-wise and financial resources-wise, a lot of money is going to come through and be directed towards issues that are affecting the global south, especially when it comes to emissions?
I want to thank the President of the Republic of South Africa for the pledge that took place on Friday, where finances and countries pledged their funds, pledged their presence, pledge their support to make sure that all the programs of the G20 should benefit the African continent and the global south. So this gives us pleasure to say definitely we are indeed moving forwards in crafting the African agenda that will make sure that we are carbon free, because the industries that we are going to develop from now, they will be free from carbon, because we are going to make sure that it favors the green economy. We will make use of the green economy part of our farms and others to generate our biogas. Example, in my farm at Ekenhof, we are ready to start tomorrow. We already have a meeting that will speak into manufacturing of biogas. That excites me. And these are local partners. We are talking about our own ESCOM. We are talking about our own city of Johannesburg that said we are going to support our communities in manufacturing biogas and training our youth as well.
One last aspect coming out of this summit, Mama, is the issue of the management and response to disasters. We know that in South Africa, we've had several disasters that have led to many people dying, whether we're talking about KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape, but also here in Gauteng. What is the next step now in terms of trying to create awareness amongst members of communities, whether in townships or rural areas, about the dangers of climate change and the support that you like these global leaders to invest in terms of trying to manage and rebuild a lot of properties that have been destroyed across the globe by disasters? Has that conversation been dealt with enough from this summit?
That conversation was highly ventilated indeed. And we did speak as well to corruption. I cannot just keep quiet about it. We are not happy about corruption, not happening in South Africa only, but happening worldwide. And we said we need now to have accountability around all these things, and we need to monitor all the progress. So as the civil society, we are ready to go and create more awareness. How do we bring about the early warning systems? What kind of systems can we come up with that will create awareness into our communities of this harsh weather, heavy rains, heavy winds that are destroying our seeds? In farming, we have come up already, as I'm talking, with climate smart agriculture, where we are teaching our youth on how to farm in a safer space by using tunnels, where we use smart irrigation, saving the water. And then we are trying by all means to bring the various means and even the energy production that is going to assist us in the farms. So we hope and believe the funds that has been raised through this G20 summit, it will cascade to those communities that are desperate. We might not be able to do everything by book, but we have started to make inroads. You can see today the city of Johannesburg is very clean. You can see even Alexander, where floods were all over the place. There are beautiful parks that shows that we are regenerating. And we really understand in terms of taking care of our environment. We haven't done enough. We still have more to do. But with partners and collaboration that will support and make sure that this initiative comes to fruition. So as a country and as civil society, we need to heighten the campaign. And we need to heighten the voice. And what pleases us is our presence in the room. This time, decisions were made with all of us, especially the Global South and the continent of Africa. So for us, it's a G100. It's not a G20.
Mama, we were in Alexander actually yesterday, and as I thank you, Mama, very much for your time. Mama Utinzwalo giving us some very insightful reactions to the declaration, but also as I was saying that in Alexander yesterday, we were speaking to some local water warriors there who shared similar sentiments, saying that, well, as much as we can talk about climate change, financial resources are needed to ensure that they're able to continue with their work on the ground. So that's the